Good morning and welcome to the weekly vlog. We don't have much planned today because we're kind of getting over the party and the craziness of yesterday. We do, however, need to go out and run an errand. Our back door broke this week and we can't really lock and unlock it that easily, so we're going to go out and see what alternatives are out there. I don't think I've ever been to a double glazing sales room and I'm kind of dreading it. So it appears that every single place where you could buy patio doors is actually shut on a Sunday. Who knew that this wasn't a thing? So we are instead tackling the post-vlogtacular mess in the office because I just uploaded this week's vlog and I say, oh yeah, I'm gonna film my studio tour, and I still haven't filmed it. So I'm getting it tidy because I need to make some videos with the children for Just So Festival preparations, and I'm gonna film the tour. I mean, almost certainly. If I haven't, feel free to berate me in the comments for being such a slacker. Hey Betsy 3PO, what are you doing?
I'm having 2 more books.
You're reading my notebooks. Hello, and it's Monday. It's actually Monday afternoon, not Monday morning. I know this is gonna sound really hard to believe, but I couldn't figure out where I'd left my camera and I've only just located it. So we're starting vlogging now. Sorry, yesterday was a bit of a non-happening. I think everyone was a bit tired and cranky after the party. Today I am just working here, trying to get a project finished. I was working at my laptop because sometimes that's better for speed working. Not today. My laptop decided that it just needed to think about everything. It's on its last legs, and yeah, I can't afford to buy a new one. It's a pretty sad situation. So I can't do any work unless I'm sitting at my desk, which yeah, feels like a bit of a pain. Anyway, I am getting on with this project. This project has been really interesting. I have looked at hundreds of different blogs, looking for people to suggest to the brand that I'm working for, and it's nice to get out of my comfort zone, to see different kinds of blogs, to discover blogs that, you know, just didn't know existed, and different topics, read some men's blogs, which I don't read a whole lot of, but yeah, it has been really enjoyable. So that in a nutshell is what I'm doing. I also, I think we should have a chat later, because I put something on Twitter last night that seemed to strike a chord with a lot of people. So if you were there on Twitter on Sunday night during Ed Sheeran's final set, you might know what I'm talking about. But if you're not, let's chat about it in a little bit once I have done this. Good morning. Okay, let me catch you up. It's now Thursday morning. So I've had a couple of days off vlogging because I was literally doing nothing of any interest, and I feel like I can save you from that now. I still owe you that chat. It's gonna happen. But first, I'm in the office, I'm sending emails, I'm sending payments. Everything is very boring, but I do have a little parcel over there which I bought myself to as a preemptive reward for doing some work I was finding hard. I don't know if you're an adult woman who rewards yourself for doing things that you find hard, but I certainly am. So I have this little package. Let's go and have a look. Cute. So Papersmiths is a glorious stationery store in Bristol, and I met the owner, who is also a designer and just a really inspirational woman, back in, I can't remember which episode it was. It was quite an early episode when we went for Weekend In. I will link it up here. And obviously I've been lusting after her stuff for ages. She's just opened a permanent store in London at Box Park in Shoreditch, which you will have seen in the Vlogtacular vlog, hopefully, because I'm pretty sure I filmed in there. And yeah, I just went on a little spree on her website to buy a few lovely things. So first up, I'm not going to open this one because it's actually for someone else. It's a pair of these lovely pointy Hay kitchen scissors. I have a pair, as you will have probably seen in past vlogs. At Vlogtacular, we borrowed some off people and one person's wasn't returned, which is really sad. We're not sure where it went, so I bought a pair to replace it for her. Secondly, oh, can you hear? Like the rustling of these bags is... Okay, hang on. Okay, so I bought some stationery bits and bobs. Number one, when we met at Weekend Inn, I was gifted one of their gorgeous fountain pens, and I'm buying some replacement ink. It's grey ink and it's just really elegant to write in. I do plan to write more. Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know, but I have grey ink cartridges, hopefully with those little balls in the end so that I can act like a teenager and collect them. Next is a completely frivolous purchase. It is, let me see, how does this work? Okay, it is a really thick mechanical pencil for drawing, but I'm not sure what I need to do to get the lead to come out of the end. Oh! I just clicked it and it all shot out. Okay. Oh, that mechanism is glorious. So this is the pencil. Look at that lovely thick end. I have no legitimate use for this. I don't use a pencil frequently enough to justify owning this. I still have pencils that I owned when I was a child. That's how slowly I get through pencils. And yet the weight, the chunkiness, the thick lead at the end, I couldn't resist this. So this is frivolous, unnecessary, and yet so worth it purchase. Next up is this bookmark ruler, which I spotted. It's super lightweight, 10cm ruler, and I thought it would be really great to clip into my bullet journal because it has this little slider on the end to clip it in. It's a flat ruler, and I'm always losing rulers because they fall out of my bullet journal, so very happy about that. So that's all the stationery, and now I'm going to dig into the books. So it's become something I'm very conscious of, that I don't read enough anymore. So this year I've been committed to reading more. I finished several books already, a couple of fiction, a couple of fact. My next up fact book is the Do Side Project Report. The Do Lectures, if you haven't heard of them, are a series of talks and events run by one of the guys who founded Howie's, I think, and they always have super interesting speakers, they have super interesting perspectives, and I'm interested to see what's in here. And then I just have a bit of inspiration. So a couple of magazines. First up, Suitcase, which is the most gloriously shot travel magazine. You can see the cover is gold embossed, and let's have a look. Just look at that. It's lovely and thick. It is basically like a paperback book. I'm going to enjoy reading and dreaming. And then Frankie magazine, again another beautiful magazine. It's by an Australian team. It's not actually the latest issue, but I wanted to get it because it jumped off the shelves at me. It's so beautiful. I don't buy it often because it's really expensive, but when I do, it's always amazing. So that's my little box of treats. Now I need to get back to work before I'm actually allowed to play with them. Okay, cold face of emails kind of done, not really, but I'm gonna head out for lunch with my friend anyway. Sushi on tour! And now it's the night time, and of course what would I be doing in the night time except creating a repeat of last week's hideous baking experience and trying to make something for the school fair because I haven't learned my lesson. Okay, so we're making meringues, and I'm trying the Meringue Girls recipe, which has me put all of the sugar into the oven for 7 minutes to heat it up before adding it to the eggs. I've never tried it this way before. Tell me if you have. Fingers crossed I'm not just about to ruin a batch of eggs and sugar. Okay, so it's midnight here in the kitchen, but it is not a disaster yet. Just look, hang on, let me find a good one. Look at these little beauties, look at that. How good does that look? So I'm pretty pleased with myself that it is not yet a baking fail. The plan is that those meringues are going to sit on top of fairy cakes. They're going to go into these cute cupcake holders I have with faces on it. It will look like hats. I mean, fingers crossed that the vision comes off tomorrow. But yeah, I need to get to bed. It's after midnight and we need to be up super early if these cakes are going to be ready to take into school tomorrow. Good morning. It's Friday morning. It's sports day today, so we have got a lot of stuff to do this morning. I'm not really sure how much I can show you because it's kids at school, but carrying on from last night, I need to go and finish decorating the cupcakes. They're baked, they're ready to go, and I just need to get them finished before it's time to take them to school and hand them in for the fair tomorrow. From sports day and I'm a hot, sweaty mess. I swear, like, I'm not doing a huge amount, I'm just standing and walking and shooting, but it kills me every year, so I'm looking forward to a nice quiet afternoon. But I just wanted to show you this cute little package unexpectedly dropped through my door, so I thought we could open it and have a look at what's inside. So I think I know who it's from because their stamp is on the front. It's from Judy at A Spoonful of Sugar, who did all of our programs and the goodie bags this year. And I love this card. Here's to the weird and the wonderful. Oh, it's a thank you. Oh, she's so sweet. So she says she's already looking forward to next year's Blogtacular, which is lovely. Yeah, I love it when people start talking about next year's Blogtacular. It's like when you've just had a baby and people start talking about, when are you gonna have a second? You need some recovery time before you can even think about it. Oh my God, she sent me one of her prints. I really, really love the colours and the phrases she uses. Look at this. Oh, it's so good. It's got a lightning bolt. It's got a nice, I think it's a 90s pop reference. This is perfect for me. Judy, if you're watching, I love you too. You are amazing. Thank you. There's also like a really cute little pin badge which said awesomeness. I will link her below. Go and check her out. She actually has some really cool graphic laser cut necklaces as well, which I think are very cool. So I think the rest of the afternoon I'm just going to chill in here and try and get this video edited. But there are some fun things afoot this weekend. So we have the school fete, which is awkwardly positioned on Hat Fair weekend. So if you're not from Winchester, you won't know Hat Fair, so I'm going to fill you in. It is literally the highlight of my year. I mean, I'll say this a lot this year. I've got a lot of highlights, but I love Hat Fair. I've been going since, I think, before I can remember. And it was set up 30 odd years ago by a local theatre company who wanted to celebrate street art and street theatre and sort of the kind of theatre that you find outside of a traditional theatre. And so you see lots of juggling, lots of acrobatics, lots of sort of very physical comedy, just really great, imaginative, wonderful, weird stuff. Starts today. It's already started. There's a schools day. Sadly, our school don't take part. I'm working on it. There's a schools day, which is a really nice quiet afternoon. So if you want to come and visit here and you have children who are not yet in school, my top tip is to go to Hat Fair on the Friday. The reason you would go on the Friday is because there's not as many people here. You see a lot of the same acts, but it's mostly concentrated around the cathedral and the high street, and Abbey Gardens. So you can see a lot in a short period of time. For the whole time that the children weren't in school, I would take a blanket, I would take a picnic, we'd pitch up at 12 o'clock, watch the parade come in, and then just hang out in the cathedral grounds, watching whoever was on at any particular time. It's honestly, like, I loved it as a child. I adore it as a parent. I look forward to it every year. So that's on for the whole weekend. So it starts on Friday, it finishes on Sunday. The Sunday is up at Orham's Arbour. On Sunday, when it's all at the Arbour, what we tend to do is pitch up at one of the stages. They essentially have different stages or rings or greens, whatever you want to call them, throughout the Arbour. We tend to plonk ourselves in the middle of one and then just watch everything that comes on, because you get yourself a nice good seat and a good variety of acts coming through. So that's the plan for the weekend. We have a chat scheduled, so let me get some editing done, and then I'll meet you in the kitchen. We'll pot some plants and have some chats. So I've been feeling guilty about these plants since I edited last week's vlog, because I bought them like 3 weeks ago and I was like, yeah, I'll pop them up later, and I just didn't. So we're gonna pop them up today, and hopefully they won't be too much the worse for wear. And I thought it would be a good chance for us to just have a quick catch up and a chat while I do this. So I've got a serving spoon. I haven't covered the table. It's actually the day our cleaner comes, so I'm doing what is considered a highly illegal activity, making a mess on the day our cleaner comes. But nevertheless, I'm gonna persist. Hang on, I need some more pots. Right, what are we gonna pot first? Let's go for, we're gonna have this lovely little pot that I bought on my birthday. It has been no, not on my birthday. I bought this on Mother's Day. I seem to gift myself pots a lot. And I think we're gonna pair it with this little pinky thing. What is it? What's it called? Fetonia mix. So I'm gonna do this. Let's chat. So on Sunday, I tweeted something out, which is kind of like, you know, for me, a bit of a throwaway tweet. I often just tweet out random thoughts that I'm having, you know, that I've got in my head, or things I think people, you know, might identify with or like to talk about. But this one really resonated, and so I actually made it the subject of this week's Blogtacular chat, and I thought you guys might also have some thoughts on it. I'm going to pop the tweet on the screen, but basically it was a tweet about, you know, do you ever feel like you just want to throw everything you've created away, to like drop out, you know, to burn it all down and disappear, essentially, to just get rid of everything you've done and kind of, you know, jack in the system? And I frequently feel like this. Obviously, you guys know I'm on the Blogtacular come down at the moment, which is brutal, to say the least. It can be brutal. You know, I often, during this period, I often feel like quitting Blogtacular, because it is really hard, and, you know, I've been doing it for over 4 years now. It takes up huge amounts of my time. You saw what half term was like for the kids, just being pushed from pillar to post. And, you know, that was my experience of half term as a child, is my parents were working and we would go to relatives or friends or a childminder, and that's what it was like. So, you know, from that level, I don't really feel like it is too much of a problem, but I don't know. You know, I sometimes think the sacrifice for Blogtacular doesn't match the actual return, because at the moment there isn't a return. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, I was kind of thinking about all of this. I was like, you know, what would happen if I deleted my blog and deleted my Instagram and deleted all of my other social media channels and just lived the life here in Winchester, in my village? What would happen? What would that be like? Yeah, it looks really cute, doesn't it? Okay, next. And I was kind of thinking about this, and I tweeted it out, and a lot of people really identified with it in terms of, you know, feeling like that daily. feeling like that all the time, finding the struggle of family versus, you know, trying to achieve something really painful, you know, just not wanting to live within the system that society has set up for us, feeling like, you know, just dropping out altogether and doing none of it, going to live somewhere remote. I have to say, if Alison did that, it wouldn't be remote for long, because I would probably follow her like a creepy stalker. It just interested me. It interested me how, you know, some people sent me DMs asking if I was suicidal, and I was like, is it that surprising that I sometimes feel despondent about my work? Maybe I give out like a really confident air about what I do, because most of the time I do feel incredibly confident, but there are small amounts of the time when I, you know, feel like I'm doing it wrong, that I'm making a mess, that I'm hopeless at what I do. And I think that's not uncommon. I think a lot of you probably feel this too. It's not, I don't think it's necessarily a big sign, but obviously, you know, some people who know me quite well on Twitter got worried, and I appreciate their concern, because you do never know when one of your friends who's a bit, I don't know, emotional or fragile or vulnerable. And I've found these last few weeks, you know, even Blogtacular aside, just everything that's happened in the UK in these last few weeks, really, really emotional and hard to deal with. And it does bring up a lot of it, you know, I feel a lot of my own pain when the world at large is feeling pain. So we've had some hard years, and I think, you know, everything that's happening abroad and at home and just in general, it doesn't feel quite as nice. Anyway, long story short, I'm not going to commit suicide. We're okay on that score. But yeah, I kind of wonder what it would be like to just delete everything and to go about my life like it was the 90s, and, you know, there was no social media, you didn't have to check your email all the time, you just got a job in an office, and that was life. I sometimes wonder what that would be like, and I think it feels like running away. It feels like running away from the hard work, from the things that challenge you, the things that produce your greatest art. But that said, it is quite tempting. Anyway, here's another little baby potted. What do we think of that? Did you know that succulents grew in a heart shape? I mean, how freaking perfect is that? I'm just, love it. If I kill this one, tell me off, because it is just too nice. Okay, what's next? Does it look right? How do you even decide about these things? My friend Rachel is like a plant guru, and I know she's got some really fun stuff coming up with plants and what have you. You should definitely keep an eye on her. She's not that active on YouTube at the moment, but she's just so good at this kind of stuff. She really, really knows her plants. And she really, really knows her ceramics. Anyway, we're going to put this little fellow into the pot that it sits in, but I'm just going to pot it up because it's actually in this tiny little pot inside, and I feel like it's struggling a bit. Anyway, how do you guys feel about creative life? Do you feel like it's almost pain to put your creativity out into the world, that crushing doubt and like questioning your own abilities is part of the process? Or am I just a little bit too sensitive for my own good? Because it's not like, I mean, I was going to say it's not like I'm displaying my art in public, but everything I do is incredibly public. You know, YouTube, blogging, photography, the events that I run, everything is in public, and it's all open for scrutiny. I very rarely do work that people don't hear about. I mean, I do a fair bit of consulting and training, that never really makes the light of day because it's for private clients. But yeah, the majority of my creative work is just out there for everybody to see. And even this, like, I feel like, you know, I'm laying myself quite bare here. This is just open for anyone. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just need to put some better boundaries in place and keep a little bit more of myself for myself. I don't know. What's the answer? How do you feel about this? Do you ever struggle with these things, or are you literally watching this being all like, hey Kat, I am just here for that damn plant. Where did you get it? It's good, isn't it? It's called, I think it's either called a fishtail cactus or a rickrack cactus, depending on where you buy it. And I bought it from a nursery online and had it delivered. And it normally sits in my office, which you will remember, hopefully, because I'm going to film that office tour, I promise. I know I've got like this aloe vera going up my nose. Apologies for the bad framing of this shot. All of that said, I feel like the flip side of these sentiments is, without sharing it all in public and without having a body of work that anyone can access at any time, in any place, would any of it have happened? Like, would I have achieved the things that I've achieved if I hadn't set out and started this in public? Because I don't think without the feedback and support of the creative community, I would have done the things that I've done, and I definitely wouldn't have started the businesses I'd have started without online friends. So I just don't know. Right, I am going to wash my fingers before picking up the kids, and I will finish potting these guys up in a little while. All the after school clubs are done and we've come down to catch the last of Hat Fair tonight. I have tingles. I don't know how many shows we're going to catch, but hopefully at least one good one. Good morning, it's Saturday morning. Sorry last night's vlog ended rather abruptly. I managed to go into town without my bag, so I had no spare battery and my camera died, which is a bit of a shame because the Hat Fair is amazing. Anyway, today is the school fete. So once again, we're decorating cakes. First up, we are doing some more meringue cakes. I made some gin and tonic flavoured ones for the adults. We're going to set the meringues on top of those. And then Miss Betsy here is entering the cake decorating competition. Betsy, do you want to tell our friends what your designs are? Because you're doing two different designs for the cake decorating. Are you going to tell them?
All in a glove line.
Are you excited about them?
I want to eat them.
Oh my goodness, my aunt and uncle just sent them these terribly annoying pens. If you ever watch this, Dave and Emma, thank you so much. Okay, so Betsy's doing her cupcakes. Remind us what we're doing?
A Gruffalo and an owl.
A Gruffalo and an owl. So we have some brown buttercream. We have 2 cupcakes. Now, this is very, very serious decorating, isn't it, Betsy? Because what could happen?
Win a prize.
She could win a prize. So all hands on deck. We can support Betsy, but ultimately she needs to do the decoration. We have Pinterest on hand and Betsy has all of her plans. Let's get to this. What do you think, Bets?
Good.
Are they exactly how you imagined?
They are very good.
What's that around your mouth? You got chocolate. Miller is entering the junk model competition. Look at what she's made. It wasn't even for the competition. Miller, tell us about it.
It's a workspace.
So tip it up so we can see it a bit on the floor. Look at all the pens on the floor. Tip it up a bit more. And there's a cat and some pictures. It's a picture of a cat. That is so cool. So we are down at the fair.
How would it go?
It's pretty hectic, so I haven't been filming much. Betsy's just won second prize for her cakes. Miller has first prize for her junk model, but I think she might have been uncontested. And now it's time for the tug of war.
In second place, we've got Betsy.
And I came second with those brilliant Gruffalo and Owl.
That's so good. How do you feel about that?
Good.
And you bought a pirate outfit and a vanity case for ballet. So I can hear the neighbours' children screaming over the fence that they are declaring a water fight. So I fully intend the next half hour to descend into carnage. I have been quietly sat here finishing the potting that I started yesterday. So let me just take you through what we have now. So this is a little tray of pots that sits on the kitchen windowsill, and let me show you the little tray actually. I really love this print. It is a Cath Kidston one that they did a few years back. And actually I liked it so much, I also had it in a sugar bowl, but Mr. Cat broke the lid of the sugar bowl quite a while ago. So I've just actually put Miller's heartleaf plant into that sugar bowl as a pot, and I think it looks really cute. That's gonna look lovely in her bedroom. What else do we have? So we just have this nice plain pink pot. I think it's a standard IKEA pot with this crazy guy. I love these plants. I've actually had one before and accidentally killed it, so I'm hoping this one stays alive because I think they're weird. And then this vintage sort of studio pot here has got this plant in. I thought that went quite nicely together. So you saw me potting quite a few of the others yesterday, but there's a couple more to show you and they're quite fun. So the aloe vera has gone into this Atelier Stella bowl from West Elm. I think it's from a couple of years ago. I bought it and I've had it hanging around and never quite had the right thing for it because I didn't want to use it for cereal or soup because I don't eat it enough. But, oh, is it in focus? There we go. Isn't he happy with his funky hairstyle? I'm rather loving that. And then one of my favourite pots, I'm not sure I've put the right plant in this, but time will tell. This is by Sophie Alice Wiltshire, who lives in Winchester. We have quite a lot of her art in the house. So if you've seen the ceramic birds on the wall or the paper cuts of Winchester, both of those are by her as well. This is a cat pot. How cute is that? And it looks like, I'm not sure if you can get it from that angle, it looks like the cat is actually playing with the plant that's in there. Although this plant, as you can see, is kind of growing in the wrong direction. So I might repot that if it doesn't, yeah, I might repot that actually because it doesn't quite give the effect, and then look out for something that does play with the cat. So that's all of that done. I'm gonna go and distribute them around the house. And this big pile of mud on the kitchen table, there's every chance I'm leaving that for Mr. Cat, but don't tell anyone. Oh, I do have one more, I have one more pot to show you. We're gonna have to move for this one because I've hung it up to keep it out of the way. I'm quite proud of this. I've had this donkey tail from when it was a tiny little plant. So I've had this donkey tail since it was a tiny little plant, and it's grown big enough to trail. Just turn it around so you can see all of the stems. It's doing quite well. And I think we can all agree that it's unusual for me to manage to keep a donkey plant or any plant going. I kind of think I used to be quite good with house plants when we had our old house, but post kids, I mean, this house isn't quite as good in terms of places to put plants. I also think that post kids, I'm so busy trying to keep small humans alive that I neglect the plants a little bit. As it so often does, time actually got away from us this afternoon and we didn't make it down to the hat fair, which is a real shame because Saturday hat fairs are, I mean, they're hectic, they are packed, but there's a little bit more to do than you would get on a Sunday. So I'm a bit sad that we had such a catastrophic diary clash. That said, the school fete was amazing. They did such a good job this year, and I don't really resent the time that we spent there. I mean, not completely. Anyway, this is it. This is the end of the vlog. Thank you if you made it this far. It's been so good having you along for the ride. Leave me a comment. Tell me if you have ever been to Hat Fair. Next week, I will show you Sunday at Hat Fair, which will be absolutely glorious. And I'm also judging the Molly Makes Handmade Awards in London, so that should be fun. Yeah, what the hell are you doing? What was that? What was that? What was that, Cos? So, if you're not a subscriber, if you're new around here, I would love it if you hit the subscribe button. I have challenged myself to get to 1,000 subscribers this year, so every single one of you who hits that button, really, you make my day. I go in and when the numbers go up, it makes me super happy. If you'd like to leave a comment or send me a tweet, all of the details are down below, and I will see you next week.
Yo.